What's going on, everyone? We're here in Los Angeles at the Mythic Quest Ravens Banquet premiere, and we're going to be interviewing the stars and producers of the show before its premiere on Apple TV Plus on February 7th. What made you want to go off and do Mythic Quest?
Ubisoft. No joke. I mean, I didn't have any interest. Certainly Charlie and I, when we talk about shows and show ideas, it never dawned on us to put something in the world of video games. And when we were approached by Ubisoft, specifically Jason Altman and Danielle, we sort of thought about it for a little while, and we said, I don't think that's really our wheelhouse. And then Jason said, why don't you just come out to Montreal and come visit the studio and talk to people.
These people are interesting, and it mirrors what we do so much. And the gaming industry is huge. In many ways, it dwarfs the entertainment industry. And so we sat in a room for a few months and came up with the show and came up with the characters.
What do you think fans will really appreciate about the show?
I think hopefully people will see their workplaces in it, reflected in it. I think like anyone who has worked for a boss that maybe has too big of an ego, or some people that are just a little too invested in what they're doing and finding conflict with what you're trying to accomplish at your job. Hopefully people will see themselves reflected in that.
We made sure that our creative team was speaking to all the programmers, producers, monetization people, the testers. We made sure that to bring in and to inform the entire creative process with people who work in games. And in addition to that, we wanted to make sure that all the elements that appear in the show are actually, part of the game development process.
We were able to put together a fake game that actually is the center of the show. Mythic Quest is an actual sandbox that we've created multiple of. Red Storm in North Carolina was just so spectacular in making these assets that were in Rob and Megan's brain come to life. And so it was just a joy to be able to see those two worlds merge.
Just meeting so many disparate and different personalities, so many diverse voices, so many differences in age and gender, and we felt like, wow, at the end of the day, this is just a workplace comedy, and yet all of these people are working towards the same goal, and they're there for the same reason, which they love games. And whenever you have people who are passionate about something, especially if it's the same thing, but they have different ways of achieving their goals, that's right for comedy.
So tell us a little bit about your character, Poppy.
So Poppy is the lead engineer of the game. She's had like a huge hand in the creation of this massive monster of a success, but she doesn't get nearly as much credit as Ian, Rob's character, does, and she's pretty cross about it.
I think we've seen at multiple points that she is just as important, almost, if not more important than Ian at certain times.
Her job isn't as sexy as his job. Like, he's a creator of worlds and she's a coder, which is an incredible thing to be able to do, but people don't really understand quite how exciting it is.
I play David Brilsby, who's an executive producer of the video game Mythic Quest. I'm also an executive producer of the show Mythic Quest, and my name's David Hornsby. So there's a very fine line we're walking in terms of character. And we joke that the difference is this: if me taking off my ring is Brittlesby and me putting it on is Hornsby. So I play the executive producer of the game, and I think my job is to navigate the egos, both of the office, the creative egos, as well as try to make the corporate side happy. So I'm constantly trying to play both sides, which doesn't always make the best kind of manager, but I'm always trying my best.
What about the character of Rachel appeal to you so much?
The thing that I love a lot about Rachel and the love story is that it's a love story between two women that's very, very normalized. And the other thing about it too is that they are their own characters and they have identities outside of the romance. So that combination is also really fun. Like, she's a blowhard and she's like really aggressive and really opinionated, but you also get so much sweetness out of their story. And the fact that it is, it's a lesbian love story, but it's also, that's not ever commented on, it's completely normalized, which I thought was really amazing.
The show does talk about, representation, and you play obviously a big role in that, not only as a woman of color, but also in your sexual orientation. How important was it for you to sort of portray that in the show?
Very, very important. I think for me, especially being in this industry for 15 years, speaking from an audience perspective, I've never seen a young black gamer, and even when I was doing research for the role, it was very hard for me to find someone in that demographic. So I think it's really important that I get to be that representation, that young black girls, young black boys get to see and get to know that it's attainable for them to have that same thing.
How much of this was sort of like improvised? How much were you allowed to sort of bring yourself into Joe?
Yeah. Well, they wrote the part after they met me because they were like, "Oh, she's fun, and we should write something for her." But then when I read it, I was kind of like, what qualities of mine are they picking up on that I don't know about myself yet? But I did, once I started playing the character, I did find that she started bleeding into me a little bit more.
You're the head of monetization. The fans and the devs, it seems, don't like you. What was it like kind of being the villain?
It's awesome. I've always wanted to be a villain. Ever since I saw Hunchback of Notre Dame, I wanted to be a villain, man. That's like it has been my dream. So, and for comedy, it's just fun. It's fun to walk around and play this character who you really don't know what is going on with him, because I really don't care. Everything just kind of rolls off my back. I have a very clear objective. I want to make those dollars, And if I don't make those dollars, who's going to pay for this? Who's paying for the giant raven?
What was it like on set? It seems like there's a lot of funny personalities, experienced actors. What was that like?
If you can arrange to come to watch us work, you won't believe that we're serious, that we're having a really good time. It's a nice bunch of people. I'm so glad to be able to say that, because I've been doing this for a long time, It's not always this way. This is a treat.
Folks, that's it. We've talked to all the stars, all the executive producers. All that's left now is to go inside into the theater. And remember, if you want to watch Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet, you could do so exclusively on Apple TV Plus starting February 7th.